Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is Saturday, and today is not normally a day that I would stream, and I didn't actually tell anyone that I was going to be here today. My bad. I was sitting down, I was getting ready to do some work specifically because I haven't done it yet. I have got to record my month 11 video for the Mega site. I just haven't done it yet. It's already the 18th of December. So I thought, let's just get into the routine. My Wednesday routine of streaming usually results in work. So I will jump on the stream today. And then if anybody is around to say hi, and I don't expect there to be many, then we'll chat. And otherwise, then I will, pull the lever and then get to work on making some videos and also otherwise being productive. But the first thing I want to do is say hello. And if you are catching this on the replay, then I feel bad that you didn't know, and I do not blame you for being grumpy at me for not warning any of y'all. But we will see how effective the YouTube notification system is. For one, if it happens to go out, I'm looking at my own phone because I'm subscribed to my own channel and I am not seeing notifications. So it could be that YouTube will fail us and then provide the notification to people later and they will be grumpy about it. I see Graham in the chat and I say, what's going on, Graham? He says he's stuck at work. There is Jasper. What is going on? Jasper, I saw in the Amiga spreadsheet that you just ordered a bunch of content. And I was wondering who you ordered the content through because I know that you had a bunch of, I saw your video recently where you talked about your writers either quitting or bailing or just otherwise needing to go do something else. And so who did you order your content through? And I feel like you ordered a lot, like several, like a couple $1,000s worth. And I want to hear more about it. And which site is it going onto? Is it the site that you're trying to get to 90 posts by the end of the year? And will you get to the 90 posts by the end of the year? Please tell me more. I see Gaz 419. This is a surprise. You are here. And in fact, because there are so few people here today, if you have questions and you want to talk to me specifically, it will be extremely easy for me to respond to you. I do have a couple of things that I had planned to talk about, but it will make it very easy to chat with folks. Yeah, somebody else had commented off the live stream. They're like, "Oh yeah, it's Saturday. Not many people will be around," and I'm totally okay with it. But what did I want to talk about today? Well, one, I've been sitting around doing a lot of thinking about 2021 and what I was able to do, and then looking ahead to 2022. And so I will use the stream to encourage everybody, if they have not already done so, to sit down and do some thinking, right? Say, okay, what did I get done in 2021? And, where, first of all, for a lot of us, 2021 did not turn out the way that we had hoped, right? That we didn't meet our goals, or maybe there were some other failings either in life or in business or whatever. So I think there's two sides of this. One is to look at 21 and to say, okay, where did I succeed? Like specifically focus not just on the places where I didn't succeed, but where did I go right? And in fact, for the three of you that are in the chat right now, please tell me. I would love it if Graham and Jasper and Gaz and Joanne, if you could tell me, where do you think that you went right this year? And I will share where I think I went right before we talk about what it is that we think that we did wrong. Jasper, because I had asked him about all of the content that he had purchased, he says he's going to put it on the new site, the one he wants to get to 90 before the year's end. He might reach that goal depending on how fast their turnaround is. Yes, I have definitely been struggling to get content back from writers. I've had a lot of people asking for extensions, and I approved them all because it's the holidays. And what else am I going to do? I'm going to say no and then go find somebody else to write those articles. No, I say you guys do you and do your best. And that's all I can say. Gaz says, I'm looking for a new niche after Christmas. It's really difficult. Well, what are your criteria? That's my question. Say, okay, I want to find a niche, and where are you looking? And do you have the goal of looking for a niche that is something you're passionate about versus something that you think that you could just write about and make money about? Like, tell me, why is this particularly difficult? For me, I'm starting my aged case study site, age domain case. It's so hard to even say it because I haven't said it that much. But going to be, well, it's not fully inked, right? But the plan, assuming everything goes right, and I hope Otis is okay with me talking about them, but the plan is to use a domain from Otis and then go forward with sort of the same plan that I worked on for the Mega site for 12 months. And picking a niche, like having a niche when you go looking for an H domain, like if you're going on a domain platform, it sort of goes out the window because you're basically picking niches based upon what domains are available. So rather than going into the case study with a plan to like pick a niche, I picked a domain and then figured that I could. I mean, generally, I kind of knew the landscape of where I wanted to go, but then I picked a domain based upon just generally what was available, and then generally the niche developed as a result of the domain that I picked. Uh, I'm super curious to see how it will play out because I didn't really do the same niche analysis that I did with the Mega site, and didn't really look that carefully at communities and the products and all the things. I'm just like, oh, that looks like a good domain. I think that I could make it successful, and maybe I will be wrong. I don't know. Graham says, I started my first blog in January and second one in July in 2021. So I think that 2021 I started blogging and so that's the positive. So you actually took action in 2021, which is great. So that was a positive, yay, I did things. For me in 2021, what I think I did better this last year than I have in any other years is trying to make money online, is just being consistent. I've never been able to do that. I've always jumped from this thing and then this thing and then this thing looks cool and I want to do that and I want to learn that and I want to gain skills at doing that. And this is the first year I really, really, really grounded out on one project. And I kind of pat myself on the back for that. Ooh, I have kazoos now. I can go da, da, da. Uh, I pat myself and I'm happy. Um, let's see. And then Graham deleted his message, so I don't know why. Jasper says, what did I do right this year? I guess the fact that I'm still working on it. So persistence, right? Ground it out, even though things got hard. I think that is a great thing, and you should be able to pat yourself on the back for that. I think it's awesome. Alexander, yes, it's totally random. It is a surprise Saturday treat stream. It's like a present to you. I'm giving myself to you as a present this Saturday. See, I've even got my Santa hat on, and it's I will. You could assume that it was to be festive, but mostly it's just to cover up the fact that I just got out of the shower, my hair is wet, and I don't want to do it, so I'll just put on a hat, call it good. Merry Christmas to everybody. Commit says, finally, you are streaming at a time that suits my schedule. Well, first of all, everybody, Commit is here. And I think my life is complete now. Thank you, Sean, for being here and validating my existence. It's just such a relief to have you here. I could probably I could probably just go to bed now because I don't think I need to do anything else today. So thank you very much. Joanne says, I started my blog and getting ready for 2022. So starting the blog, getting started, yes, is an amazing thing. And sometimes one of the hardest things is to just start. That's why the Reddit thread is called Just Start. So it's great to finally do it. And I did it. And I'm going to do it again in 2022. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to talking about my Otis domain and my hunt for that. And in the last week, that's what I've been working on. And I'm a little stressed out because I've kind of like tentatively made the decision about the domain, but it's not a domain that I probably would have just gone and registered, right? Like I wouldn't have thought, oh, this is a great domain, like name, and then gone to GoDaddy or Namecheap or whatever and like typed it in and like picked it out. The reason that I chose it was the specific niche-ish that it was in, and then also the backlinks that it theoretically has, and the fact that it's old, like 15 years old. People like, I feel like everybody's talking about age domains right now. You go to all the different podcasts, like, oh, so and so's using an age domain, and oh, this, that, whatever. So and so's got a case study, and so I feel like I'm jumping on the bandwagon a bit as far as that whole thing. And my experience with age domains is like nil. So I mean, I listen to all the podcasts, right? And I'm trying to glean information, but truly it's going to be the like muddling my way through. Like, okay, once I get the domain, then what? Like, what do I do with the old stuff? Like, it's literally me just figuring it out. So it's probably good. It's probably good that I do it, but there's going to be a lot of figuring as I go along. Commit says my work here is done. Carl says, sat waiting for a curry. Got you on loudspeaker. Well, I will maintain then this stream to be family friendly because I fear who may be sitting and listening to this at home. Sean wants to know a pineapple on pizza or not. For me, the answer is yes. I think that it balances out some of the other flavors. Like I think pineapple with like spicy jalapenos, spicy peppers, plus the sweet and the spicy can make it really good. I was recently watching a TikTok that people in the UK put sweet corn on pizza. I think that is stranger, to be honest. Who puts corn on pizza? That 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 doesn't seem right. Who puts corn on pizza? So people are giving me a hard time about pineapple. You put spaghetti on pizza. Why? I don't understand. You guys also put beans on toast, and it's like comfort food, like toast, and then like a big old can of just on a plate. That makes no sense. Carl says tuna and sweet. So tuna, so fish on pizza. Did I read that right? Was that a typo? Tuna on pizza? I don't know, guys. I'm I don't know. Tuna on pizza? Who would do such a thing? Who would eat that? Really? Oh my gosh. Yes. Well, uh, my Otis saga. Beans on toast with grated cheese. Yeah, I, I'm like totally like off the rails here. Thank you all, friends, for completely derailing what I was talking about here on the street. Oh, while I'm distracted, I want to highlight the fact that in the description of this video, there are 2 links to the Zoh Contest that's going on right now. I wasn't planning on doing a whole lot with this until I realized that it's community specific. So I've seen that Carl posted on his page, and I've seen Alex post on his, and I'm pretty sure I've seen Fix and all the rest. And I knew that there were going to be like, there's the top performer award. So there's like you can enter to win what, some prize, right? Everybody is in it, but so the top performer contest, what is it? You have the chance to win 50% of their January revenue and co-branded Zoic merchandise for the community top performer one. But then there's also the publisher. Oh, the publisher of the year award is you have the chance to win $5,000. And that one, I don't think, I think they're going to award one of those. But for the top performer, it's actually community specific. So get this. You could go and enter your name, I think, in all of the communities, right? So you could enter in my community, and then potentially, I think, I need somebody to go try this because I want to know, could you go to Carl's page and then enter in there to win? And then could you do it with my community and then with Fix and with Alex and all the rest? When I had initially heard the news about this, I had thought that we could nominate other people because I wanted to get together and like nominate, like do the Colbert bump, right? And then take somebody from our community and then nominate them. But I think all you can do at this point is to nominate yourself. I thought there was going to be some voting or something, and clearly I know nothing about anything, and I should have paid more attention. But anyway, I was just going to highlight the fact that even if you entered in Carl's and Alex's, that potentially you could still enter and mine and then have more opportunities to win money. So I'm just saying, the link is there in the description. I get nothing from this. Like I don't get any sort of prize for referring like 20 people or 5 people or 10 people and whatever, but I think it would be hilarious actually. If we had everybody like enter all over the place. Anyway, I'm sorry. I just like the derail. Like I was going along the urge, like to the left or the right. Gaz says cheese and Marmite. What does Marmite taste like? I mean, I feel like I would eat cheese even if you melted it on cardboard, right? Like I think I would eat the cardboard with cheese, but I've never tried Marmite. I did not think highly of Vegemite. So if Vegemite is anything like Marmite, I don't know. I'm suspicious here. I feel like somebody is like trying to play me here and tell me that this food is good eats, that it's delicious, and it's not. Like Marmite, like it's like you eat it on a spoon and then put what do you put it on? Do you put it on like bread? Um, I don't do you put the Marmite and the cheese on the beans? This is so strange. Carl says the food's here, gotta go. Yes, thanks, Carl, for dropping in. What's going on? Boz, what's going on? Listening while washing up. Hey, I live to serve. I live to entertain y'all while you're supposed to be hanging out with your families. And so if you're doing this while your family is in the other room, you should go spend time with your family. Devin says, my neighbor would drink Marmite tea. What does Marmite taste like? Does it taste like does it have a flavor? I mean, does it I'm like at a loss here. I feel like most of the stream so far is me kind of going, I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. Oh my goodness. So for 2022, I've literally been obsessing about it. And lately, I've been talking to people who are doing well on YouTube, and I'm kind of getting the YouTube bug again. And I hate to, I'm just going to say it out loud because if I put it out there, hopefully people will like reel me back in, be like, no, don't do it. That's a shiny object. But I talked to other people in our community who have healthy niche websites that earn revenue every year. And then they also have YouTube going on and their YouTube income is healthy also. I'm like, oh man, but wouldn't it be really great to be diversified and to have YouTube in addition to, whatever for Google organic search. And like, oh man, that'd be so amazing. For the folks who are popping on now, mostly we're just here to hang out and talk about 2022 and food so far are the topics. If you are lurking, you are welcome to lurk. Just let us know that you are here. You just say, hey, I'm here. I'm lurking and working. There's never a bad thing to be lurking and working. Graham says that Marmite is like concentrated beef stock flavor. So Marmite tea is sort of like drinking, like not like chicken stock, like beef stock, like just like what you would use as the concentrate if you were going to put it in maybe a soup or a stew. That could be good. I'm still having a hard time imagining drinking it as a tea, though. I don't know, like if you were ill, right? Like let's say you were sick and your throat really hurt and you're like, oh, let's have Marmite tea like that. I'm confused. I'm not sure what's going on. Chris says, hey, and I say, hey. And then he says, Vegemite is greater than or better than Marmite. Well, what would you eat Vegemite with? Like on a sandwich? Is it a replacement for meat or a replacement for condiments like mustard? Like what is the flavor of Vegemite, or is it just in a class in itself? Like if it tastes like nothing else. If you've never tasted Vegemite, then you will never know any better. Graham says that I'm assuming Marmite is great on toast with lots of butter. Chris puts his Vegemite on toast, and it's a light spread. Here in the US, we eat lots of strange and unhealthy things, so it should not surprise me that humans consume other strange things around the world, but I still have not been able to wrap my head around Vegemite and Marmite. But you guys also drink instant coffee, right? Like, they have the little can like the Nescafe, and like you take the spoon out and then put it in hot water and call it coffee. Here in the Pacific Northwest, I don't know that I have ever seen anyone have like drink instant coffee like that. Like, it's shocking to me. So, you know, differences to each their own. It's all good. Oh, but 2022. So in 2021, the goal of the year was to focus, right? It was to just work one project and just see what I could do with it, right? The 2022, I don't want to lose that. But at the same time, I want to balance it out with my other needs to do like other things. And like Will says, is it Wednesday today? My boss is going to be mad. I never showed up for work on. Yes, Will, if you notice that the title of the stream is Surprise Saturday, and it is because I just felt like streaming. That's just what it was. I just felt like streaming. You haven't missed a whole lot other than me laughing and talking about Vegemite and Marmite, and then just being social or trying to be. I went out into the world this morning to do some Christmas shopping, and then I crawled back home and like desperately needed to return to the fold of people that I like and trust who aren't here, who are on the internet, who I don't have to like see or share space with. Oh my God. Oh my God. Gaz says, I thought the niche I'd chosen for 2021 was a good idea. I knew there was competition, but I thought I could better the info supplied by the competition in its early days and still needs to take off. Have or have not hit the hockey stick growth yet? Well, I did this also in 2021. My fight site and my niche site, Cagefight. That's not really a cage fight anymore. I picked one of the most competitive niches that I think there is online, aside from um, well, insurance, right? Or mattresses. And I'm at, I think, month 6, and the site is finally just starting to go. So I wasn't sure. I thought that I had the skills to do it. And I think, and I can't speak for you, and I don't know what niche is, but I think if you keep working on it, I think that it will eventually catch fire. It's just you got to work through the phase of nothing's happening, nothing's happening. I have the faith, and then see what happens. Stig says, I don't see a wreath on the wall. Well, I don't have a wreath on the wall. I did, however, put on this elegant Santa Claus hat. So I at least tried a little. I don't see you using like regular letters. It's still in caps. So my Christmas wish still has not been granted. Guest says, oops, haven't hit the hockey stick yet. Yeah, I feel like if you stick it out and keep working on it, that eventually it will happen. I think that's my experience so far, is anytime I actually grind it out and then keep doing the work and pushing through the doubt, it works out in some way. Maybe not the way I wanted, maybe not the way I hoped for, but it still works out somehow. Chris says, my 2022 plan is to turn my niche site into a brand. All right, so Chris is taking it to the next level here. Like, way to continue to make me look like an amateur, Chris. Thanks. It says create a course, a podcast, and get my YouTube channel up to 30,000 subscribers. Not for niche site, Safari. And then let's see if this plan lasts into February. Well, then like you're putting it out there right now. Everybody is hearing it. Chris is going to make me look bad by taking his brand, his other brand, and not the niche Safari brand, and then taking it to the moon in 2022. So, Chris, I'm going to support you through all that. I don't know how to hold you accountable for any of it because you live in another country, and I won't do anything mean to you. But in case you get distracted in February, but I will be reminding you and poking at you and be like, hey, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. How are we going to keep you accountable, Chris? How are we going to make sure that you stick with this plan? Tell us, like, like, how are we going to keep you on track? How can we help you get this done? Because I think it's a great idea. It's just going to take like an investment of time. Adrian, what is going on? Yes, it's a surprise. It's a unexpected, just streaming one because I felt like it day. Um, And here we are. I'm wearing a Santa hat and being ridiculous. Chris says, you live like 5 hours. So, okay. So you're telling me that if I get my passport renewed and then you are not holding yourself accountable, I can get in my car and drive 5 hours and show up at your doorstep with and do what? Like, what am I gonna do? Like, slap you? I'm not gonna assault you and get myself arrested to try to keep you on track. Mm. Sean says that we're going to be asking for updates in February. So everybody should get their calendar out right now and set a reminders like February 15th. Has Chris done XYZ? And then we'll be sending you messages, Chris, in February. Like, what are you doing? What's going on? What are you doing? Jasper says, I'm working on setting some goals, but this time it will be purely focused on things I can control. Yes. That was how 2021 worked out for me, because anytime I focused on goals that I could not control, like revenue or traffic, I ended up, one, failing, two, feeling depressed and feeling like I had failed. And it was just mentally extremely taxing, like not good. But this year, 2021, I just mostly focused on the content, things I could control, and I feel more stable. Not that I was unstable. I mean, okay, I am a little unstable. I mean, I do stream, like live streaming. I feel like you have to be a little unstable to enjoy doing this, or even do it even though you don't enjoy it. But focusing on content was a way better strategy for me in 2021, and I will never go back. Even though, like in my mind, I definitely have these things like, oh, it'd be really great if this site was earning X, or oh, it'd be really great if this site was, this X amount of traffic. Which, by the way, Charlie's race to 1,000 posts apparently went well, because I saw his video. He's got 100,000 sessions in the last 30 days or in the last month or something. I saw the video come through and watched it, and it's a real testament to what can be done. I think he said the site was earning almost $4,000 this in the last 30 days before he made the video, which is just bonkers, right? That's a six-figure site. And the older it gets and the longer he has this track record of it making that much money, the higher the multiple is going to be. So well done, Charlie. I don't know that you'll catch this live stream, the surprise Saturday live stream, but if you do, I'm going to give you a purple kazoo. Well done, friend. Let's see. Gaz says, niche websites is a hobby for me at the moment. At best, I hope it would turn into a small side hustle. Yeah, Gaz, I really think it just depends on what you want it to be. For me, it was never a small side hustle. It's always been, okay, I want this lifestyle. And so my goals, my expectations are always like out there. And I don't know if that to the moon mentality, it sort of changes the frame for one, what I'm willing to do, what I'm willing to learn, and how hard I'm willing to work. So if I thought of this as like my hobby, I'm not sure that I would sit down and write content for like an 18-hour day on a Saturday when I had nothing else going on, when I didn't have the kids hanging out. Like I might not work at all. But knowing that I want it to be like an excellent, not just replacement income for my professional job, but a better than replacement income, than that frames how much work I do on it and how I feel about it. Let's see. Chris says that Sean's brand is an inspiration, and Commit does work very hard. And I would be extremely happy and satisfied to have built something that Commit has built. Oh, shucks. Stiggs then turns his letters upside down and backwards and in caps. I said, well, my Christmas wish is still for you to use lowercase letters. And I wonder how the chat would react to it. Jana, what is going on? It's good to talk to you. It is Surprise Saturday, and we're just chatting about 2021 and looking forward to 2022. And I've asked everybody to drop in the chat something they thought they did well in 2021, and then something they want to work on for 2022. So I don't want it to just be, oh, like here's where I failed. Like I really want to know, what did you do well? There has to be something. And that something should include smashing the like button. like smashing the like button just because I still haven't received the notification from YouTube that I'm live streaming. So I'm guessing that there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be like, oh, okay, that's my ego. I don't know that there will be a lot of people who will be upset that they missed this stream. Maybe a few people will get that notification later and will be grumpy about it. And if you are grumpy about it and you're catching this on the replay, please put in the comments below, I'm grumpy, just so I know, so we can laugh about it. Graham says, I'm going to try and make some physical product reviews for my website's YouTube channel. Ooh, so jumping. Are you going to show your face, like your face and like voice, or are you going to try and continue to like stay in the shadows in the background? I want to use the videos with the Zoic. Yeah, it'd be cool to see if you could improve the revenue that your site is making by using their video player versus putting them up on YouTube and then trying to earn ad revenue over there. Adrian's thinking of selling his Miga site. Wow. And investing that in other projects. It's doing over 2,000 per month and only 11 months old. I believe this was an age site, is an age domain that he started with, and he got bored. Well, that seems like a fair reason to sell if you're not going to work on it and you don't want to work on it anymore, and sitting back and just collecting checks doesn't seem interesting. Then sell it. It is a good idea though to sell it and then use that money to pour into something that you are more passionate about. Stiggs is aiming to please. Luckily, um, Adrian says any marketplaces besides Empire Flippers and Motion Invest just to test the waters. There's I think the Alpha Invest. It's the guys who have the flipping websites community Facebook page. Chelsea, her paper route, she also does some brokering. I'd be tempted if I were you, Adrian, is to see if you could find a direct buyer and then use like escrow.com or something. Like you wouldn't just pick a total stranger, but if you could find somebody else in the community who wanted to buy your site, like Anthony bought Carl's site this year, I think one of his sites, and maybe that would be a better use of your funds, right? Because then you wouldn't be paying what 15% to a broker. I haven't used any other brokers other than Empire Flippers, and I haven't actually bought anything with Motion Invest, but there are several brokers that would probably be more than happy to try and sell your site for you. Jana says, I was watching Robert Plant and Alison Krauss and then abandoned them for you. Yes, well, Alison Krauss is, I listen, I have in the past listened to her quite a bit. See, Chris says 2K a month is awesome and congrats. And I say yes. So building a site that is at 2K a month by month 11 is pretty amazing. He should pat himself on the back. I'll pat myself on the back for you, Adrian. That's awesome. Stig says 11 months, 2K. I'm jelly. Yes. Well, me too. I would like to have a site that makes 2,000 a month in 11 months. Yes. Soren, what is going on? We are a surprise Saturday stream, SSS. And I'm asking everybody in the chat to try and contribute something they did well in 2021 and then something that they want to work on in 2022. So make sure to take a minute to acknowledge, like, here's something I did well this year, even if it wasn't a good year, right? Even if there were hardships this year, even if you didn't meet any of your goals or just failed outright or whatever, there has to be something you did well this year, and I want to know about it. Sarvesh, yes, just checking in. Yes, this is a just total hangout. We're missing Alex, at least I am. And I saw, he's posted a couple of pictures, or at least one picture of the new space, the new streaming space. And he also teased that he's going to be doing some things different in 2022. I'm curious as far as how his content is going to change. I hope he still continues to give away mugs and t-shirts because I like them. And I'm going to continue to try to show up at the streams and win them because I like wearing them and getting them. Let's see. Soren says, I thought I missed a notification. And so far, I have not seen that YouTube has sent out a notification. So I don't think you have been notified. So basically, at this point, people who have shown up at the stream just sort of happened across the fact that I was live. They were on YouTube and saw the little thing that's like live right now. And then maybe YouTube showed off the fact that I was wearing a Santa hat. I don't know. Sarvesh says in 2021 that he flipped 3 sites, roughly 6 figures. Oh my goodness, friend. This is like that. If I could give you a high five through the computer, I will do it. And I'll get out the orange kazoo. Well done, friend. So hopefully repeat in 2022. So the only thing that I think about when I hear about people talking about flipping sites year on year is whether or not that will change how the income is classified on your tax returns, right? So if you're selling sites like every so often versus selling them every year, and it depends, I guess, on the country you're in and the tax structure of your business but that is something to think about. It's like selling sites continually versus selling them randomly and all at once, if they will be taxed differently. It's like regular income, regular business income versus the capital gains stuff. So something to think about. Joanne says, I got site up and is Zoic on 18 posts. Well done. And 500 is the 2022 goal. I did not start 2021 with the 500 goal. But I feel like for me, it was doable and it was a reach goal. And I'd like to see that site that you started go to 500. That would be amazing. I would also love to see what sort of income or revenue that you can expect at that point. It'll be awesome. I can hear my phone buzzing. So people are either trying to. Reddit Phil just texted me. What is he doing not here? I will shout him out. Oh, there's Gross Scouter. Finally catching a live stream. Yes, I just happened to be on. It is a surprise stream, which means that you must be awake at like, what is it, like 5 in the morning where you are, like 5 or 6 o'clock a.m. And what are you doing up so early on the Saturday? Stig says that I came up in the YouTube sidebar. Yes. Jana says the one thing I did well is stick to writing content. Yes. Well done. So what are you going to do different in 2022 though? So what is the reach? Like what is the thing you're planning on working toward then in 2022? By the way, and Stiggs was asking, says new video, and he's shouting out at Gross Scouter. If you have not followed Gross Scouter on YouTube, I think that you are missing out and you should. This is somebody who I think really knows what he's doing. And I can't believe he started a YouTube channel to share it with us so that we could learn from him, because there's really no reason for him to do it. It's not like he's trying to sell a course or anything. He's just making YouTube videos, sharing the goods. So thank you, Growth Scouter, for just existing. And if you were in the chat live or on the replay, and you have not followed his channel, you should go follow his channel. Stig says that he's hooked on his case study. And I said, I know, me too. Lewis says, I never thought I'd see the day with the time zones. Yes, this is actually one of the reasons why I did decide to stream today, is because I was hoping it would catch some different people. Because some people, and I should have planned it in advance, but basically my life is a cluster F right now. So this is what it is. But I would like to in the future do some random, like off the regular schedule streams just to catch different people. Like some people are at work on Wednesdays at that time slot and they could just never be there because they are responsible. And so Saturdays, maybe some folks who would normally be on Wednesday couldn't make it, but some other people who would like to be there will make it. Gaz says that it's 8 in the UK, which means that if you're sitting down to tea or dinner right now, it's like late. Adrian says that he's binging Gross Scatter's videos. Yes, ditto. Jana says she's going to write more content and get to 500 posts in 2022. I'm again going to give you the virtual, like the virtual high five. I would love to see you do that. I would love to see not only the outcome, like, okay, I've built this site and the traffic and the revenue, but also sort of that badge of confidence. Like, I set a goal for myself and I went and achieved it. And it's a big goal, and how that would change how you feel about trying to make money online and your whole business. I just can't wait. Jasper says that Grow Scatter is the main channel I go to when I feel demotivated. So basically, what you're saying is that we have a celebrity now in the chat. He got out of bed over there in his part of the world, and then now he came on the stream. Our celebrity is here. People are like, more videos, please. Let's see. Soren says 2021 has been an awesome year business-wise and personal. I desisted to shift my blogging efforts toward affiliates and ad site, and it's been good for me. Well done. I cannot wait to see what 2022. It's cool that this is being recorded, right? Because we could come back next year and then look at what we had to say and what we were thinking, and then compare it to how we feel in December of next year. Girl Scatter says the cats woke him up, and I say, how dare they? How dare they? I'm surprised it's not the birds, because the birds are so dang loud over there. 24K Will says, have you ever tried fish fingers? So when you say fingers, is it actually like fish, is it in like the shape of a, because over here we have something we call fish sticks. They just look like little sticks. They kind of look like, this, but in like they're made of like fish and then breaded and fried. Is that what you're talking about when it comes to fish fingers? Again, I cannot believe I stumbled on TikTok yesterday, but there was a guy who was posting things like interesting things that people eat in the UK, and one of them was a fish finger sandwich. So apparently people in the UK, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, will take 2 pieces of bread, and then on one piece of the bread lay like fish fingers, like lay a bunch of them, and then put some ketchup on there, and then put another piece of bread and then eat it. That doesn't sound right. Is that what we're talking about? Is it delicious? Sarvesh says that it's 1:42 in the morning there in India. Yes, for the folks in India and in Asia, like the Western side, it is a very difficult stream to catch if I stream in the morning. So I appreciate you being here from India. Gross Scatter says, thank you, everyone. I still can't believe that you didn't think, like, you weren't sure about starting a channel and whether or not people would follow you, because it's so obvious to me now that why people would. Boz says he started a new tech site. Interesting. It has 31 articles, as I have a day job. Yes. Well, you should not feel like comparing yourself to other people when it comes to what people are posting versus what you post. You should just do what you can get done and not worry about it. Really want this to be a big site with 500 plus articles, but we'll have to outsource to get there. Yes. I was not able to write 500 articles in 1 year to get there. And I'm not sure that I could, not with my schedule. I would have to literally devote myself to pretty much doing nothing else but writing articles. And even then, I'm not sure if I would just burn out, because that's what happens anytime I decide I'm going to sit down and write hundreds of articles all at once. Stig says, is that like fish sticks and chicken fingers? Will says, yes, they sound familiar. I've literally just eaten a fish finger sandwich. It sounds so weird. What do you put on it? Do you do you put like lettuce or like tomatoes or like mustard? I mean, what else do you put on a fish finger sandwich? That sounds so strange. So do you like put the fish fingers in like the oven? Do you fry them up? I mean, please tell me you don't eat them cold, because that sounds atrocious. Jasper says, okay, article goal for 2022 will be roughly 1.25 articles per day. So that's a total of 450 articles. 450 articles. That will be a great effort in 2022 if you are able to stick with it. I look forward to seeing this happen. Samantha says, ew. Yes, I will trust that our friends across the pond, and maybe the fish fingers over there are better than the ones that we have over here. Maybe they are more delicious. Hopefully more delicious. Stig says, it's kind of strange. Neither fish or chicken have fingers. I know, right? Well, not in Chicago, at least. Chicago is a different place. You guys have strange pizza there, too. Will says, cook 3 fish fingers, put them on bread or a muffin with tomato ketchup. It sounds wrong. It does not sound delicious. It doesn't. I'm just saying. For folks, I see the chat numbers like expanding and contracting, so I can tell that there are people jumping off and people jumping on. For those of you who are just coming on right now, either got the notification or just discovered us, we are talking about what it is that we did well in 2021 and then what we plan to do better in 2022. So it's pretty easy to cover the things that we didn't do well in 2021, but I want to think of something positive. What's something that you did well, and what's something that you're going to focus on in 2022? Let's see. Sarvesh says, Amelia, what are the top 3 underrated SEO YouTube channels? Let me tell you something about YouTube and how my consumption of YouTube has changed as I have gotten older in this business. When I first got started, I like ravenously and obsessively consumed YouTube, right? I felt like I had a lot to learn, and I felt like I needed YouTube to like bolster me and reassure me. And I will tell you now, in year 3 and year 4, I consume a small fraction of what I consumed in year 1 and year 2. And instead of pursuing YouTube channels, I like religiously, obsessively follow specific people because I feel like they have knowledge. Some of them are my colleagues, right? My colleagues in arms, people who I wish to emulate, to learn from. But I really don't like obsessively follow channels anymore. So, right, I can only tell you right now who I am continually listening into, and one of those folks is Kyle Roof, and that's not new news because I talk about it all the time. Mostly because, and Chris told me this a while back because I was saying that I was having a hard time getting, like, I felt like his content would be over my head, or that it would be complicated because he's, some of the stuff they do, like the SEO testing, can be really complicated. But Kyle had broken it down into like 3 or 4 things that they felt like were not all of SEO, but if you did those things, that you'd be getting most of the low hanging fruit for your SEO tasks. And so I started doing those things, and then just trying to learn from him as best as I can. So rather than saying channels, I think that as you grow, that's a great person to follow. And then, of course, all I would say is my friends that I follow. So basically all of them. I couldn't even just throw out 1 or 2. So right now, at least for me, I'm listening to Kyle Roof's stuff. And then ask me in a month. Ask me in a month who I would be following or who I would recommend. Sig says, best pizza. Don't get me started. So Chicago style pizza is the one that has like the pizza that's like that thick, right? Like, I feel like you could eat 1 piece and then you just need to go take a nap. Soren says, inside the wing on birds, rays actually have fingers. Deep dish rules. They actually have fingers. So is it like fingers, like, or is it just little bones and we will call them fingers? I will kick the comments to the chat no, because I said that I was following Kyle Roof. So for those of you who are in the chat, I would love it if you would tell me who you think, like, who's the best SEO, like who has or what is the best SEO channel in like right now. Because maybe that's a sign, right? Maybe I should be going and checking out more channels so I can learn more. Maybe that's something that I will do early in 2022, is just have some new channels. So I don't know the answer to Sarvesh's question, but I will ask folks in the chat, who am I missing out on? Who do you think deserves, even if it's a small channel, who's doing something amazing that we should go check out? I want to know. Boz says that I really feel like Morton knows his stuff and how to create sites like it's a production line. I also really respect Morton, and it's probably why his course is the only one that I currently am an affiliate for. There's a link in the description, because I really do think that he's honestly in the trenches doing the work. Chris says, I think the best, I'm putting up Chris's air quotes, best channel, it depends on which stage you're at. I totally agree with that also. So people who are just starting out might be overwhelmed, like I was in the beginning, with more of the technical SEO stuff. And it wouldn't necessarily make sense for somebody who's just getting started to be focusing on taking a site from 500 posts to 1,000 posts, because that's not where they're at. I do think, though, for improving over time the entertainment value of videos, Morton has, I feel like, really just hit the hammer down on trying to make his brand and his videos better. So if you don't know who I'm talking about, Morton Storgard is Passive Income Geek. He has a YouTube channel. You should check it out. Especially if you're brand new to this and you're catching this live or on the replay and you're not subscribed to his channel, you should. You should be. Chris says, I try to appeal to intermediate people. Income School tries to appeal to beginners. So we'd have different audiences. Yes, well, if you folks didn't know, Chris has a YouTube channel and he does appeal to intermediate and people who are aspiring to become advanced. So Chris's channel is one of the channels that I watch all his videos, because I aspire to be intermediate and advanced, like right behind him, like on his little coattails, like Chris is breaking the way and I'm just gonna like go behind him, like he tests this. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to learn from what you've done. Soren says, goals for 22. Number 1 is to get one site to $1,000 a month. Check the box. 2 is to save an algorithm hammered site back to, oh, yes. Yes. So try to resurrect a site that got hammered. I have at least 1 or 2 of those in the portfolio that need my attention to try and resurrect them, to try to save them. And then 3, it says build SOPs for site building in Project Icarus, so that you could repeat it, right? So that you could just have I'm going to say cookie cutter recipe, but okay, here are the things I need to do. And then could you give it to somebody else to do, or just know, like, here's what I need to do. Here's what needs to happen. Emma says VASF.tech. So is that a YouTube channel? Because I don't know them, and I'm going to go look. I'm curious now. So VASF.tech, or is that a oh, interesting. So when I searched that just now, the first video that popped up was VASF.tech, and then it says never click this link, which I thought was interesting, because it makes me not want to click on it. Where is the channel? All right, I'm confused now, but that's not hard to do. Chris says, not that I'm comparing myself at all to Income School in terms of video quality. Well, they have a whole team, Chris. Like, they have people who help them video and to do the editing and all the rest. So Sarvesh says, my top 5 in no order are Income School. I've subscribed to them. Morton, I've subscribed to him. Chris, subscribed. Authority Hacker, ditto. And Matt Diggity, also ditto. Sabina says, hey, I just got the notification. And it makes me laugh, because nobody got the notification. Like, I watched it and watched it and watched it for YouTube to send it out, and nobody did. So basically everybody here has just stumbled across this accidentally. But while you are here, Sabina, and of course you can catch this on the replay, but I'm asking everybody to just mention in the chat at least one thing that they felt like they did well in 2021, rather than focusing on things that maybe we didn't achieve in 2021, and then what's something we intend to focus on in 2022. And if you have more than one thing that you want to contribute, totally okay. Totally okay. Stig says spam, don't go. So VASF.tech is a spam channel, or it's a spam website. And if so, then Emma totally got me. Luckily, I only searched it on YouTube. I'm not going to watch any of it. Soren says, I'm eating up everything with Kyle Roof, but not sure it's a single channel. Yeah, no, I haven't been watching a channel by him. I've just been going, and he does kind of a similar presentation on multiple channels, right? Like people will host him for a lecture. And so much of the lecture is very similar from what he does on place to place to place. But sometimes he'll do something very specific, like, um, on like one aspect of keyword research or on one aspect of interlinking and so I sometimes have to watch that stuff 2 or 3 times because it just doesn't go into my brain. Like it doesn't get in there. It doesn't really click yet. Uh, Chris has not been doing his job with his wrench. I'm not sure if I know what that means. Evan, what's going on? Thanks for dropping in. We are just shooting the breeze. Joanne says that she enjoyed Sean Mars, and I concur. I think Sean is a great example of somebody who is working extremely hard and posts uh, good content on YouTube just from what he's observed. And I think it's a great resource for folks. Baz says, if you want some golden nuggets of info, go see Grow Scouter's channel. Yes, we have already sung the praises of our friend and colleague Grow Scouter. It's awesome. Looking forward to seeing more videos from him. And that's like a hint, like, when are more videos coming out? Stig says it's always Chris's fault, but I still love him. Yes, well, it is always Chris's fault. And Sabina, you were here, and I hope you haven't gone back and like put everything on the replay to get caught up, because I still want to hear something positive. Like, what did you do this year in 2021 that that you're proud of yourself for, or that we could say, yes, I did that. Like, I was able to do that. I overcame something. Maybe I didn't achieve all my goals, but I still did this thing, and I should be proud of myself for it. Evan says, talking more. So basically, like, we're fawning all over Grow Scatter today. Our resident celebrity who has dropped in on the stream today says he didn't post anything for 2 or 3 months, but that guy is great. Basically, Grow Scatter, I think the consensus is you are laying down on the job and not entertaining us here on YouTube. He says that content distribution is an amazing channel with so content distribution. All right, so I'm going over YouTube now. Content distribution. All right, so who pops up? Content distribution. So this guy has 1.24 thousand subscribers with only 17 videos. Oh man. So you see these people who start a channel and just takes off. I'm pretty sure that I had like 300 videos before I was able to get 1,000 subscribers. So what does that tell us? That this channel is probably the first 17 videos are much better than my first 17 videos were. Oh, Avin didn't know that Grow Scatter was here. Oh, he's like face to face with this celebrity. Yes, he is here. And now I don't know that we'll be able to stream again. And Commit, who was so active in the chat earlier, has either lurked and worked or has bailed on us without saying goodbye, ghosted us. I don't know if I can handle this. I'm not sure. Med says I launched. I see I'm drinking water today instead of coffee, everybody. I launched my first site in mid-October. Well done. It's really tough to start a site. It's got 65 articles done in 2 months, which is usually better than what I'm able to get done in the first 2 months. So well done. Plan is 500 articles in 2022. Man, I cannot wait to hear about all of these sites, all of these creators who are planning on going to 500 in 2022. And maybe while you're here, if you're still here and you're planning on going to 500, is you have to tell me, how are you going to get there, right? Because it's all well and good to say, I'm going to 500, like I'm going to take a new site and go to 500, but how are you going to get there? Truly, because if you don't have a plan to get there, like what is your 6 months going to look like? Not just I'm going to start and write frantically for 1 month, but what is the first 3 months going to look like? What is the first 6 months going to look like? How are you going to get to 500? Let's hear it. Stig says, I'm not proud, but humbled to learn the lessons of buying a scraped site. So in the future, Stigs, then help us figure out what do you think you could have done differently to have avoided the scraped site? Do you think that you did not look at the content carefully enough? Should you have run it through Copyscape? Should you have just taken passages from the content and just like Google search like various aspects of it to see if it's popping up elsewhere? Like, what can we as a community learn from your experience? How could I avoid doing what happened to you? I would like to know. Commit says nonsense. I am here. Sorry, did I miss something? No, I just thought it was a great opportunity to hassle you. That's all. I just assumed that you had snuck out and that you had just clicked the X. You're like, all right, I'm done. Um, yeah, I'm I feel so complete when you're here. That's all I'm saying. Commit says my pineapple pizza arrived, so my hands were occupied. Well, if you put jalapenos on there, then I am jealous. But if you did not, then I am not. Jana says that she has 250 already. Well done. So what kind of traffic is that site seeing now with 250 articles? Because I feel like we haven't talked for a while about it. She says that she will outsource 150 and then write 100. Well, that will get you there. And if your goal is well, if you only have to write 100 in the next 12 months, it seems more doable to me than having to sit down and write 500. Jasper says that he has a large order out already, which will be delivered probably in January. He's also onboarding a new writer and probably looking for one more. So he's going to build a team to help him get to 500, which is a great plan. Stig says, my new fave is Dupla Checker. So if you had used Dupla Checker, do you think that that would have helped you avoid this scrape site? Dupla Checker. So if you had run that, do you think it would have made a difference? I'm curious. He says, Jasper says, add myself to the mix, and I think I can produce 25 to 35 articles a month in the first 3 to 4 months, and then scale up production to Q4 once the income comes in. I think that sounds like a solid plan. It does. Sarvesh says, I feel like folks who like fans, right? Like it just happen to have some of the other YouTube creators here, and then people are like, oh my god, I get to talk to my friend, like somebody I want to be friends with. They're like, oh my god. Ariel, what's going on? She says, not sure how late I am. You are pretty late. It's an hour in, and it's not your fault. YouTube did not send out, I think, many notifications, if any. But now that I have you here, I want to know if you have published any update videos lately. I'm going to subscribe to content distribution as a reminder, because we were talking about channels that people recommended as far as to learn from. So content distribution was one of those. And then I'm going to go look at Ariel. I have to check how to spell that. For some reason, spelling the word Phoenix I've always had a hard time with that. So Ariel still has 4,500 subscribers, and I'm looking for update videos. So I have not seen a November update video for your portfolio. Is there one coming anytime soon so I can watch it? And don't feel bad, don't feel pressure, because I haven't done my November video either for my Mega site. So that's actually what I'm planning on doing today. But also, while you're here, like, how's it going? How is balancing having small children with trying to build a portfolio of sites? Because I know how that goes, and it is messy. So messy. Soren says, I'm aiming for posting 300 posts in 2022, which would be an excellent effort, which will put one site over 500. The plan is to record a podcast and outsource text writing. I love podcasts. I love podcasting, and I wish that I had the ability to do everything that I would like to do. And I have this, and I'm going back and forth about whether or not to hang on to the Fall Forward podcast, or if I should just pull it down and then launch it some other time, because I have not done very much with it in 2021 at all. I think the last interview I posted was back in February. So yeah. Chris says, and also Sarvesh says, Q-text, or QUE. I'm not sure if I've even said that correctly. If I said it Q-text, Did I pronounce that right? Quaytext? Q-text? Like Q-tip? I don't know. Q-text. Now I'm going to go look. So we had Duplichecker, which was one, and then Q-text. Original writing made easy. So this is another plagiarism checker. All right. All right. So we got two alternatives to Copyscape. Yes. Jasper says, oh, is thanking people. Ariel says, I hardly ever get notifications, but I will rewatch. Yes, well, I can't say that rewatching it will change your life. I cannot say that. She says she's been moving home, so no new videos yet. We'll do some soon. All right, I will just sit here, twiddle my thumbs until I see one. Jana says, I am embarrassed to tell you that I have only 4,000 site visitors per month. So first of all, before I read any more of that, I want to know why you feel embarrassed. Because for me, I don't feel like working really hard and posting things and not seeing the traffic that you want should feel that you should feel embarrassed about it. In my mind, that's a sign that you're probably close, right? Like you're close to getting somewhere and there's just one or two things that needs to be fine-tuned. She said her niche is super competitive, but I just want to turn it into a business and not just a site. Yes, well, in a super competitive niche, I'm also finding in my own personal experience that sometimes these things just need to marinate longer. And so I can't tell you how to feel because you feel how you feel, but rather than feeling embarrassed about it, and like to say it, you're like, hooray, I have a site that has 4,000 visitors a month. And as soon as I dial some things in, and maybe it's not anything I do, maybe it's having to do with Google and reaching this other tipping point with the content, that it's going to go. So I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. And I'm also proud of you for telling me how much traffic it is, even though that you don't, it doesn't sound like you really wanted to. I think what you've done is great. And I think other people in the chat, if you are here and you are, let's reassure our friend and tell her that if she keeps working, that it's going to work because it will. Ariel says, November has been hectic, but I've been focusing on just 2 of the sites and I have 8 writers for 3 posts a week. So hitting the post targets, which is awesome. That sounds like so many moving parts though. I have a handful of sites that I just ignore all the time because I cannot get to them. Like truly, I just cannot divide my brain up anymore to focus on it. Graham says he used Q-text. Very good. Joanne says 500 by Q3. So by the end of September and hiring writers Q1 and 2. That will get you there. Soren says he loves the podcast, currently about halfway through. Yes, if you did not know, friends, I have a podcast and I'm pretty sure the link is in the description of this video. I made podcast episodes on it pretty consistently for about a year, around a year. Some of those podcasts were posted here on YouTube and some of them were not. Some of the videos were originally on my main channel and I ended up taking them down because they hurt the performance of the main channel. It turns out that having these long form interviews, while they help with watch time, did not help with the overall performance of other videos. So I've been kind of saving them, thinking that maybe one day I would create like a content vault and then like have people pay a small fee to have access to this content that no longer exists. But I don't know. I can't be bothered right now. Stig says, okay, today's homework, content distribution channel and Q-text. You're welcome. Pretam. He says, this is the first time I was able to catch your stream live because of the time zone. Yes, and not just the time zone, but also the day of the week. So there are some folks here who never catch the stream because I usually stream on Wednesday. So welcome. And please feel free to tell us a bit about yourself and also tell us one of 2 things. Well, 2 things. One, I'm asking everybody in the chat to disclose, this is a safe space now, disclose something that they felt like went well, that they did well in 2021. And it could be your websites, it could be your business, it could be some other digital project. And then also something that you want to work on in 2022. For a lot of people, we've been talking about content goals, but it could be other things like being resilient or consistent or, looking at at stats less. Like I feel like I made that transition here near the end of 2021 because I was obsessively checking stats, and then I did no look November. And I wouldn't say I broke the habit of checking stats, but I feel like I weaned myself off of like having to look all the time. Like, and I definitely grab my phone and look at it less, especially when I'm with my kids or when I need to be present. Like I just find myself looking at it less. So that's one good thing I did this year. Anthony Paul, hello everyone. So Anthony, I think I don't know that I've seen you in the chat before, and I would love to know more about the folks who are new to the channel. You know, what are you working on? What brings you here on a Saturday? And I know for some folks have this on in the background as background noise and are cleaning house or washing dishes or whatever. But I'd like to know more about your businesses and what it is that you guys need. I holy cow, I can see that I've been on for an hour already, so I feel like I've got a couple more minutes and then I should get to work. But because my plan is today, the whole reason I decided to come on the stream today was to get fired up to make my Mega Site Month 11 video. I have to go through and check the chat from my live stream from a couple weeks ago to see the entries for the people who wanted to try and win a 1-hour Zoom conference to talk about sites with moi. And then also I just got to make the darn video. and I still have to make an ugly Christmas sweater because I'm going to be social. I'm going to go to an ugly Christmas sweater party, and I do not have an ugly sweater. TikTok Trend says, is it morning there? It is not morning. It is 12:45 p.m. So it is technically afternoon, but it is daytime here. Stig says, hang something on the wall and add lights. Well, if I stream next week, and I'm not saying that I'm going to, because it just depends on family and the when and the who and the how and all of the things, I will do my best. Leona says, hello, what a nice surprise. And I say, Leona, it is a Saturday surprise, but sadly, we've been on for an hour and some. This is a ninja stream. I didn't tell anybody I was going to do it. And we're getting close to wrapping up because I should work eventually. Adrian says, what worked for him? He said, audits done in Google Search Console, analytics, big data analytics with Ezoic, and tweaked with Surfer. Every article on my Mega site is indexed and 95% in the top 30. Man, that sounds amazing. When are you going to make a $997 course so that I can follow along in your footsteps? Do you think, Adrian, that it made a difference that the Mega site was an H domain? Do you think that, I mean, and I don't know if you will know, do you think it makes a difference that the situation right now would be the same if it had been a fresh domain? Because I am curious to say, okay, if I take my fresh domain that is struggling with indexing and go back and do all these things, that would I be in a better place, or can we say that this is solely the result of XYZ? I don't know. I feel like the question has come up a couple times in the chat, but people want to know if Adrian's Mega site is seasonal, and I do not know the answer. Adrian says, yes, it did. It was an expired domain and not auctioned. So I think what I'm getting from this is that Adrian thinks that the age domain component is a big part of why the articles are indexed and 95% are in the top 30. He said month 2, it already had 4,000 visitors. Yes, well, you can see why people are jumping onto the age domain bandwagon, like truly, because you know, when you see results like that versus people who are starting with a fresh domain like me, and then you go 6 months without seeing any traffic at all, without any growth, you're like, all right, I can see why. He says not the age, but the links. So he thinks that the fact that he started with a site that already had links made the difference. Well, I hopefully will be joining you, at least in understanding, starting in January. So let's see what happens. Folks, I've been on for an hour. For those of you who jumped in late, I'm sorry to have to bail on you, but I have been enjoying very much the chat with folks. And For those of you who jumped on early, who got to talk to me just with 2 or 3 of you in the chat, I did enjoy that, even though it was very small. But yeah, if I don't come on the stream next week, have a happy holiday, whichever holiday you celebrate, if you do. And I hope that you get to do something you enjoy, whether it's family or taking a break or working a lot, whatever it is. I hope to come on sometime next week. I cannot say necessarily if it will be Wednesday or Thursday or Friday or whenever, but it would be fun to try to get on at least one more day this next week. Uh, have a great day. Take care, everyone. See ya.